wait. What was that, Arlene?
I just put a little salt.
Okay, is that regular table salt? Is it kosher salt? Is it sea salt?
It's
what?
white salt.
Okay, that didn't narrow it down. Okay, but how much did she put on? See, she does these things so that we cannot replicate the beads.
Have you tried to replicate?
No, because I don't know how. You
Well,
keep.
she can't cook.
Hey, hey.
So like
Yeah,
an ass-
yeah.
Yes, she
Here's
can.
okay.
But
Here
think.
was my mother's. Here was my mother's cooking lessons when we lived on Reddington Street downstairs. We had a small kitchen, and here was her cooking lessons. Get out of my way. Get out of the kitchen. Get out of the kitchen. Get out of the kitchen. I learned that really well. My mother's an incredible cook. My grandmother was an incredible cook, but they wouldn't let us in the kitchen.
Well, you know what? My grandmother was an incredible seamstress, and my mother was an incredible seamstress, and I can't sew a straight line to save my life.
Well, have you ever met Erica and Anna?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Maybe they'll be good cooks.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. So where did you learn to make the beans, Mom?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Cookbook?
Really?
Nobody taught me.
There's no bean legacy? Was a torn page out of Good Housekeeping magazine or
I know my mom found a recipe for brownies out of a comic book.
really?
Oh yeah, and we did those brownies forever.
Nice. Comic book brownies. That's good.
When Colleen was probably 4, 5, I took her to, I used to sew very, very little. Nothing great at all. And there was this place in Lynn called Zimmons. And we went down into the basement and it was just filled with buttons and zippers and fabrics of all kinds. So I was there trying to find fabric to do something, I don't know what it was. And Colleen and her sisters were around. And Colleen reached up to pull herself up, and she pulled an entire box of buttons down all over her, all over the floor. And this place was not meticulously clean. It was kind of filthy. And anyway, this Mrs. Zimmons, who was an older Jewish lady, she looked at Colleen, she looked at the buttons, and she looked at me, she says, "You are going to pick them up, ain't you?" I said, "Yeah, I will." So many years later, when Colleen then decided she was the seamstress that she was, she said to me one day, "You want to go down to Zimmons with me?" Now she's driving the car and everything. I said, "Yeah, but I may knock over some buttons and you're going to have to pick them up."
Payback.
Yeah, payback. Payback. You got it. That was a fun place, though. That was a cool place. Now they're overpriced.
Are they?
Oh God, yeah, they're the home deck go-to place around, but they have beautiful stuff, but it's really expensive. Really expensive.
Well, there's not that many sewing stores
No, it's
around
not.
now.
No. Nope. Sad to say.
Colleen's first sewing machine, I had a very old Singer sewing machine, and she was taking lessons at school, and went
The
to
Girls Club of Lynn.
And she came home one day and she said, "I want a sewing machine of my own." I said, "Well, maybe we can." I said, "I've got the sewing machine. You can use that." You know, she said, "No, I want a Viking sewing machine," which was a very expensive brand.
Top of the line.
Of course.
And God knows how much it was. It wasn't, you know,
It was like $600 and something.
whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, it wasn't $1,000 or anything. And I thought, oh my good God, there's no way in hell I'm getting that. So I said, you know, let's go down to the sewing machine store and we'll see what we can afford. I can't afford that big price.
Actually, I think it was $350. I think that's what it was.
But the machine we got first was like
$100 and something. It was the brand was Universal, and it was lemon yellow,
And the machine
and it
itself
proved to
was
be
a
a lemon.
Oh no.
Yes.
And it was a heavy, heavy sewing machine. And we lived on the second floor. So we would take it up the stairs, she would work with it for a while, it would break down. We had to take it back, they'd fix it, we'd go pick it up, bring it back, up and down the stairs, and she's carrying this machine. And her father kept hearing us say, you know, oh, it's got to go back, it's got to go back, and, you know, oh, this is a lemon. And so one day he says to her, oh, and there was a thing at the sewing store that if within a year
if you upgraded,
traded upgraded, they would refund your purchase price towards the new machine.
Oh, nice.
Which was great. So one Saturday morning, Donnie said to her, bring this machine, Colleen, we're going down to Smith's. And she says, why? It's not broken. He says, just go get the machine. So he took her down and he bought the other machine, but she paid back every penny.
Now, I can tell you the street corner that my father called my mother from, and he said, I'm upgrading her machine. How much money do we have in the bank? And I know there was conflict, because by the time I got home, my mother had a payment book already made out to say, here's how much you're going to pay, here's how much whatever. So those were like my first sewing jobs, was to pay my sewing machine bill. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
And in those days, girls were just starting to wear pantyhose, you know, and stuff. And Colleen would wear hers once, and there would be a big rip.
So ladylike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other girls could wear theirs a couple of times before they'd get a run in them or something. So, I don't know, we went a length of time, and I was buying pantyhose. Finally I said, Colleen, you're so rough on these pantyhose, you're going to have to buy them yourself. I said, I'm not going to keep buying them. I said, you got to learn how to take care of them. So my husband hears that, and he says, you are a cheap bastard. You won't buy the kid the pantyhose? And I said, and when she leaves this house, who's going to buy her pantyhose? You know, she was probably, 14 or 15?
Probably,
So
yeah.
I said, it'll be short time before she leaves here. Is she going to be able to afford new pantyhose for every day of the week?
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so freaky, because I ask people all the time, if you won the lottery, what's the one thing that you would have done for you every day or delivered to you every day that you can't afford? It's a luxury. And people always say, oh, I'd have someone come and make breakfast, or I'd have a driver. And I always say, I would have a brand new pair of pantyhose every day.
I was going to say, I've heard
Where did that come from?
years.
Oh my God, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was the cheap bastard that wouldn't let
That's
me buy it.
I
And then we
See how
started.
good you got it?
right. See that?
Then we started with the trick of cutting the leg off.
Yeah, and you'd
Making
wear two of them.
Two of the panty things.
Yeah.
So that
You'd wear one on the left and one on the right.
Yeah,
You know,
you
and then it was
start
like,
everything.
you know, a kind of a suck me in girdle thing, which, you know, I didn't need when I was 12.
But
Yeah.
but he was the one that went and got her the sewing machine that day, because he knew I would.
And what is it my mother said? Oh, so there was one time when I was in White River Junction, Vermont, and the starter went on my car. And I called a couple places, and they kept giving me outlandish prices. And I called my father. I said, how much should I pay for this job? And so he told me, and I go, I can't get anyone to do it even close to that, Dad. They know I'm stranded. They know I'm a woman. They're taking advantage of me. So he goes, I'm on the way. I go, what? He goes, I'll pick up a starter. I'm on the way. I'll change it up there. I go, Dad, it's freezing. It's February. Your mother and I will take a ride up. I'm like, you're kidding me. So they drove, 4.5 hours. My father's laying in the parking lot in the ice, changing the starter on my car. Oh. My mother came into the hotel where I was teaching, and the ladies were like, I can't believe you guys drove up here to do this. And she said, you know, when a child is born, they cut the cord from the mother. But when a daughter is born, they never cut the cord from the father. That man would do anything for these girls. And it's true, he would. He would. Absolutely. He would. All good. All good.
Yeah, Colleen's standing there teaching in this. It was like a motel.
Yeah, it was a hotel room. Yeah.
And some woman must have looked out the window, and she says, "Oh my God, there's a guy out there taking his clothes off." Colleen looked at her. She said, "It's just my father."
It's
He
just
was
my
putting on his
jumpsuit.
jumpsuit.
Yeah. It's just my father.
Just my father.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right. I think I hear beans boiling.